Good evening. I don't know what's happening on your screen, but mine just sort of went bright yellow like the sun had hit it and then lightened up and now is lighter than it was when it started. Oh well. I hope I look good to you because I look a little odd to me, but we'll just let that be fine because it's not a big deal. How I look is probably the least of my challenges at this moment in time. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Happy. Are you watching the impeachment trials day?
You look
Um,
okay.
I look okay
Yeah,
on normal screens?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I look very washed out over here all of a sudden. And I wasn't. I was fine. And then the screen flashed golden. And now I look different. Maybe that'll be better. Okay, whatever. Anyway, here we are. It is Wednesday. It is. What date is it? It is February 10th, 2021. Wow. I can remember when we were looking ahead to the millennium and thinking about how old I was going to be at the millennium. I'm not going to tell you how old that was, but I can tell you what you already know, which is that that was 21 years ago. Hmm. And I feel like I'm getting younger all the time. Don't you? Hi, Jennifer. Glad you're here, darling. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Tina. You look lovely as well. A little orange, and your cap is very, very cute. Oh, that's your kitty. Hello, Brenda. How are you doing, darling? You are watching. Good for you. I'm picking it up mostly on the news and NPR. We've had repair people in today, and this just hasn't been an organized kind of day where you could just sit down and watch. So if there's anything really important that happened today, let me know, would you? Because I'm not fully up on it yet. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I liked having it on in the car, and I was almost thinking about coming home and turning it on and having it in the background. And then I realized that I didn't quite have my talk ready for tonight. So you guys took precedence over the impeachment of the president. Oh, too many words. So, how is everybody tonight? How are you doing? How's life treating you? How are you treating life? Treating, little play on words there. Forgive the pun. I wonder if it's a pun, if it's a serious thing. Hmm, more to think about. Okay, tell him that we miss him, would you, Jen, please? Well, you're all great. Thank you all for telling me I look good tonight. I appreciate that. It's been a long day. Oh, we have this little terror in the house that thinks that it's fine if everybody else sleeps in, but I should be up no later than 6 o'clock, and that's a.m. And he gets very playful to let me know that. So when I've been walked over for the 57th time, and he stops dead right in front of you and kisses you, and then scatters around and knocks things off the end table. And, by the time the third thing hits the floor, I've got to get up because I'm not sure what it was. This morning it was my clock. My clock doesn't like being thrown from the end table very much, I don't think. But it's still working, bless its heart. Ooh, getting ready for several inches of snow. Yeah, Tina. You got weather. You get real weather there, don't you? I mean, real weather. As Californians, we know. You've lived here. We go see the snow. It doesn't come to us. We go see it. We visit it. We make marks in it. We build things out of it, and then we go home. So I'm always kind of fascinated by people who, live in places where the snow comes to you, and where several inches of snow is not a thing to be happy about necessarily. So, prayers are with you, sweetie. Good evening, Dana. Glad that you are here. Yay. How's everybody in your world doing? Everybody. That includes you. How's everything doing? If you hear crunching noises in the background, it's the little terror um, eating Merlin's dry food. Oh, he may come up and visit. He's right behind me now. And I never know what he's going to do. So hang in there. If you see a... There he is. There he is. Down in the corner, behind the chair. Hi, Spirit. Hi, Spirit. Can you show people the heart on your butt? Well, it's a great big heart. Butt is not a bad word. See his heart? Look, there it is. My life. And that box may hit the floor at any time now. We're amazed at how strong he is. Rugs move from one place to another. If you've been following Cac's Facebook page, she's writing a thing called As the Tale Turns. Did I get that right?
Yes.
And it's the further adventures of Spirit the cat, who is a character, is really a character.
Where's Marlene?
Oh! Lainey got her eyes done. I had mine done a few years ago.
Oh, great.
And I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to just love it. I did. And then you have mystical eyes. A friend told me that. Because your eyes reflect light differently. You wait and see. You have mystical eyes. They're wonderful. Things are calm in the Craig Bear residence. Good. Oh, yes. New kitten. He squeaks. Which is kind of good and kind of bad. It's cute. It's not nearly as unnerving as Merlin's Fran Drescher voice. But he sounds like a squeaky toy. And I think Tipsy thinks he's a squeaky toy. So we're working on that. Spirit says hi back to you, Dana. He may show up again. I don't know where he is right now. It's a little scary not to know where he is. He's liable to pounce from any corner.
Spirit, come here. Kitty.
He's a cutie, though. He is a cutie. And he's very, very sweet. He's just kind of demanding. That's redundant once I've said that he's a cat, isn't it? He just knows what he wants and gets it. So, oh, his other mother is taking his picture.
Well, I have just downloaded them.
Have you? Okay. What can I tell you?
I got a new rug today because he stole mine. So,
Have you found it?
well, I got the new rug today because he stole my other one.
Yes. He steals entire rugs. He's got a cane somewhere under the bed. We haven't found it yet. There's, one of those long wand toys with a string and then feathers on the end. We're not sure where that is.
And a long 3-foot shoehorn.
You probably heard that. A 3-foot, 36-inch shoehorn.
Mm-hmm.
He moves things.
Moves things.
He moves things. And he doesn't tell us where he has moved them to. And if he thinks you've put it in the wrong place, or if he just decides he wants it, it's gone.
Where are you going? He's back.
He's back. He's back. He may show up. We'll let you. Well, you'll know before I do, probably. That's how your squeak got his name. It's the strangest thing. He doesn't meow. He just squeaks. But it's kind of a pleasant little squeak, so I really don't mind too much. 6 o'clock in the morning, I could do with other things, but it's all right. It's sweet, and he's not annoying. He's just mostly cute and wants his own way and gets it. I realized today that he's the first thing that's fed in the morning and the last thing that's fed at night to try to balance all of that. So he sort of bookends my day. Ah, but he's a joy. He is a joy, and we do love him, squeak and all. So, anybody need to check in? And yes, Tina, all that is missing and more. We're wondering. We found things that have been missing for a year that he had nothing to do with, looking for the things that he had everything to do with, and we haven't found. He hides them. I mean, really well. He hides them. Don't tell him I said that, but he does a good job, all things considered. Okay, so what's going on in your life? Fill me in. Prayer requests, reports on prayer requests. How are y'all doing? Fill me in. Enough talk about the cat. Let's talk about you and what's going on in your life and how you're feeling. Let's do that. I never know how far behind me you actually are. So if I look like I'm ignoring you, I'm not. I'm just looking to see if anybody's going to tell me anything. And like I say, you're time-wise, there's a lapse, lag. There's a lag. That's what they call it. So I don't want to ignore you. I don't want to. And I can't think of anything more to say about this cat. Oh, good, Tina. Good. Will you let us all know? Right away, quick. I'm glad your mom's doing well, Jen. I'm really happy about that. Something just told me that you had made the right choices for her and that she would adjust. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard when your life changes that much. Um, Good for you for hanging in there. And a little extra patience at work, Okay. All right. Writing down. Writing down. Writing down. This has always been a thing for me. If I write it down, it's in my head. I don't ever have to look at the notes again. It's in my head. If I don't write it down, so patience coming, yes, indeed. All right, Brenda. Just generally, darling, or physical? Let me know. I'm always up for celebration, Tina. In fact, I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Okay? Oh, Lainey, you're so sweet. I love you guys. I just do. I just do. All right, you guys keep thinking on that and go ahead and write in any prayer requests you have, please. Please. And I'm going to move on just for now. I'll be back. I'm not leaving. Hold on. I just... there you are. You all went away for a minute. So, I want to talk about celebrating because I think we all need to. I got to tell you, it was challenging deciding what to talk about tonight. Not because I couldn't think of anything, but because there were so many things that I could talk about that have happened in the past week or going to happen within the next week. Um, that it was hard to make a decision. I'm a Libra. I want to do it all. In the been there, done that department, there was the Super Bowl, which wasn't the game to end all games as had been predicted. But if you're a Tom Brady fan, and I am, it was a very cool game, and I loved it. And yes, that squeaking in the background is the cat. Then there was Groundhog Day on February 2nd, and Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, which means we are in for 6 more weeks of winter. Not any kind of good news if you live any place but California and maybe Hawaii, I think. Sorry, Tina. You're going to have some weather. But, not to dwell on that, there are so many other things happening in this next week that we could spend the entire week celebrating. There's Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day and President's Day. I mean, all in one week. Now, I figure you know what to do for Valentine's Day, or should know what to do for Valentine's Day, or Galentine's Day if you prefer that. So that's up to you. And we can talk about that on Sunday if you want me to, because Sunday is, in fact, Valentine's Day. And I'm going to request that you at least have a thought for Presidents Lincoln and Washington on President's Day, since it's sort of usurped their birthday celebrations. And I think we'll talk about Ash Wednesday on Wednesday, which is Ash Wednesday and the beginning of Lent, and always gives me tons to talk about. So anyway, I finally decided to talk tonight about Chinese New Year because it's right around the corner. You might need to prepare for it a little bit, and, well, it's a fun subject. So, on February 12th, we bid farewell to the year of the rat and usher in the year of the ox. That was not a political statement, although it certainly sounded like it might have been. According to Hong Kong-based geomancer Warwick Wong, I love that name, Warwick Wong, way too many W's. The year of the ox should be somewhat lucky, but a lot will depend on how well your sign gets along with the ox, and just what your plans and goals are for the year. Overall, say the experts, it's a holding pattern, which is not unusual considering that we are following the year of the rat again, not a political statement. Keep calm and carry on as best you can in 2021, they're saying. But hold off on major moves if you're able to do that. And, in a side note, kind of worth paying attention to, whether you believe in the zodiac or not, they say, try not to be obsessive about following the news because so much information is in the air. Okay? Okay. So even if you don't believe in Chinese astrology, sometimes you kind of have to admit that they are pretty accurate. On the night just before last year's Lunar New Year's Eve, January 23rd, 2020, New York City's Museum of Chinese in America welcomed speakers for their annual talk on what the metal rat year would bring. The president of the organization told OprahMagazine.com the prognosis was that, by consensus, it was going to be a horrible year. The speakers told the audience that their expert had two pieces of advice. Their expert expert being Mr. Wong. Don't be argumentative and try to change anyone's mind on matters. And find a safe place and hide. Don't you love it? And wasn't that just kind of what the year was? Interestingly enough, the president of the museum and her two speakers went out to dinner, and midway through dinner the phone rang and she said, "I have to go, the museum just burned down." So they got off to an auspicious start in February of last year. Back to this year. Essentially, the message for the year of the ox is preserve your energy and your spirit. The year of the tiger is coming, and that will change everything. So, it's a getting through year. But as of Friday, it's a new year. It promises to be better, pretty much, all the way around, provided, of course, that we pay attention and follow the rules. Hard work and discipline and duty. That's the ox. The theme of 2021's year will be build, build, build. Following through on whatever projects you began in the rat year. Stick to routines, shy away from wild new methods and ideas. Hard work, duty, and discipline. So, how do we best align with that? Well, my research department sought out an answer to that question. And while she, didn't come up with exactly what to do, they did find instructions on what not to do. And sometimes that information is even more valuable and enlightening. What not to do on Chinese New Year to set the theme for the year ahead. Remembering, of course, that the Chinese New Year's lasts for 16 days, so you're going to have to behave for the whole or better part of 16 days. This isn't just Friday's homework. But starting Friday, here's what not to do. Do not say negative words. All words with negative connotations are forbidden. These include, but are not limited to, sick, empty, pain, ghost, poor, break, death, kill, and the list goes on. Though that's their list, not mine. There's a couple I wouldn't have put on there. The reason behind all this should be pretty obvious if you think about it. You wouldn't want to jinx yourself or bring those specific misfortunes onto you and your loved ones. So see, what we need to see right up front is that the Chinese New Year sets the tone for the whole year. What is set in motion in those 16 days carries through for the next 350, whatever that number is. Number 2, do not break ceramics or glass. Breaking these things will break your connection to prosperity and to fortune. If a plate or a bowl is dropped, immediately wrap it with red paper while murmuring auspicious phrases. After the new year, throw the wrapped up shards into a lake or river. Don't do that. Just put them in the recycle bin. Okay. Ours is blue. I can think lake when I throw things into it. Number 3, do not clean or sweep. Before the Spring Festival, there's a day of cleaning. That would be tomorrow. That is to sweep away the bad luck and all of the lingering taboo stuff. But during the actual celebration, it is a taboo to sweep. Cleaning or throwing out garbage may sweep away good luck instead. So if your floors need attention, you'd better get to it pretty quick. If you must sweep, make sure to start at the outer edge of a room and sweep inwards. Bag up any garbage and throw it away after the 5th day. Similarly, they say you shouldn't take a shower on Chinese New Year's Day. So once you finish sweeping tomorrow, you might want to take a shower before you go to bed. Just saying. Number 4, do not use scissors, knives, or other sharp objects during Lunar New Year. There are 2 reasons, they say, behind this rule. Scissors and needles shouldn't be used. In olden times, the intention of this was to give women a well deserved break. Don't you love that? I love that. It's 16 days not to sew or cut things up. And they say sharp objects in general will cut your stream of wealth and success. This is why 99% of hair salons are closed during the holidays. How about that? Ours are closed for the pandemic. They close for a holiday. Different thinking. Number 5, do not visit the wife's family. Traditionally, they say, multiple generations live together. The bride moves into the groom's home after marriage, and of course, she will celebrate Chinese New Year's with her in-laws. Returning to her parents on New Year's Day means that there are marriage problems and may also bring bad luck to the entire family. The couple can visit the wife's family on the 2nd day, Saturday's fine, Friday's out, and bring their children, as well as a modest gift, because it is, after all, the thought that counts, so the gift does not have to be extreme. Modest is the byword. Number 5, do not demand debt repayment. This custom is meant to be a show of understanding. It allows everyone a chance to celebrate without worrying. If you knock on someone's door demanding repayment, you'll bring bad luck to both of you. However, it's fair game to do that after the 5th day. I don't know what the magic is in the 5th day, but a lot happens after the 5th day. Borrowing money, incidentally, is also taboo because you could end up having to borrow all year long. Are you starting to see the theme here? Number 6, avoid fighting and crying. Unless they say there is a special circumstance, try not to cry. But if a child cries, do not reprimand them. All issues should be solved peacefully. In the past, neighbors would come over to play peacemaker for any arguments that occurred. The whole idea is simply to ensure a smooth path into the new year. Number 7, avoid taking medicine. Try not to take medicine during the Spring Festival to avoid being sick the entire year. Of course, they say if you are chronically ill or contract a sudden serious disease, immediate health should still come first. Some related taboos to that are don't visit the doctor, don't perform or undergo surgery, and don't get shots. So none of you should be out there performing surgery after Friday. Maybe until the 5th day. I don't know. Don't get shots. If you can get an appointment, your luck has already changed. Take it. Number 8, do not give New Year's blessings to someone who is still in bed. I don't make these up. You are supposed to give New Year's blessings, but let the recipient get up from bed first. Otherwise, they could be bedridden for the entire year. You also shouldn't tell someone to wake up. You don't want them to be rushed around and bossed around for the year. Take advantage of all of this and sleep in yourself. Okay, and there are several Chinese gift-giving taboos, but the one that stood out for me was this. Clocks are the worst gifts of all, because the word for clocks is a homophone for the same, sounds like the same thing as when one is paying one's last respects. Okay, so other year of the ox information. If you were born in the year of the ox, know that some Chinese superstition holds that it's not a lucky year for you. It may not be the worst year, but it's not the best. good things can happen with twice the intensity. Yay! And bad things can happen with twice the intensity as well. To attract good fortune, wearing red is recommended. Red is traditionally considered a lucky color in China. Also, they say, keep a plant in your room and try to maintain a positive mindset. Well, yeah. So, have we learned anything? To begin with, hopefully we have realized that calendars, customs, and beliefs are different as we move around in the world. And hopefully we've got an appreciation of that. I couldn't help but notice that these customs and taboos and rules for how to behave are all based in beliefs that certain words and actions, spoken or enacted on the first day of the new year, can impact the entire year ahead, for good or for ill. Really not so very different than our beliefs, are they? Don't we believe that words and actions have repercussions? Don't we believe that our words inform our lives? And haven't we proven that in our own lives time and time again? And we could only wish that those repercussions only lasted for a year. So, with the 64-day season for nonviolence in full swing, I find myself tying everything to the prospect of peace. Can't help myself. And they say that the fastest road to world peace is to find common ground, to look for the things we have in common, to find the things that help us understand each other. So, with that thought in mind, let's take another look at those things not to do. Don't say negative words. No argument there. We know that negative words create negative circumstances in our lives. We know that negative thoughts create negative circumstances in our lives. And I wonder what might our lives look like if we didn't say negative words for 16 days. Would that get us out of the habit? What might our lives look like if we just abolished negativity, period? Well, it's certainly something to consider. Number 2, do not break things. That if you do, clean it up, wrap it up, and toss it when appropriate. Well, maybe. I do like the idea of not breaking things. Particularly what came to mind for me was not breaking promises. Our words have power. Our promises are the projection of our words into life. If we have broken our promises, let us clean it up and wrap it up and then toss the debris somewhere where it won't hurt anyone else or continue to clutter up our lives. Number 3, do not clean or sweep unless really necessary. I just don't know if I think this is a really great idea, except for the value of getting some time off. Working just to be working seems unproductive and unnecessary, so maybe there's some value to this idea after all. I mean, the world's not going to come to an end if I don't clean or sweep for 16 days, is it? Number 4, do not use scissors, knives, or other sharp objects. Imagine for 16 days you could be puncture-proof. Maybe not such a bad idea. Put down those sharp, pointy things and take some time to meditate on a more peaceful, less pierced world. Couldn't hurt. Do not demand debt repayment. You are a place where creation expresses itself, where God is. You don't need to demand anything. Ask, accept, and you shall receive. And maybe at the same time, give those who are a little less fortunate a break as well. Couldn't hurt. Avoid fighting or crying unless necessary. Let's talk about this one for a moment. Back to the 64 days. We are advocating for peace in nonviolent ways, which means that we avoid fighting, except for the euphemism of fighting for what we believe in. And certainly not fighting just to prove that we are right, which is why so many fights ensue. Let us look for and find common ground. Let us promote that which brings us together, not tears us apart. Let us learn to understand that our differences are what make us interesting and unique, and our commonality is what makes us divine. And, well, as for the crying part, it doesn't necessarily help to cry about the state of the union or the world or our lives, except perhaps for those things that touch and wrench our hearts. And it is for us to know, I think, that those tears may last for a night, but also to know that joy cometh in the morning. And I believe that it is infinitely more productive in the face of injustice or sorrow or pain to take action, nonviolent action, to become part of the solution rather than complaining and being part of the problem. So number 8 is avoid taking medicine unless you need it. And my question would be, why are you taking medicine if you don't need it? You might want to give that some thought. Number 9, do not give Happy New Year wishes to someone who is still in bed, and do not wake someone up to wish them a Happy New Year. Let sleeping friends lie. I would think that one is universal. Besides, this only applies to Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. So unless your friend is Chinese and would appreciate seeing you or hearing your lovely voice first thing in the morning, I just send a card. And a reminder, don't give clocks as a gift, because it could be misinterpreted as saying you think they won't make it to next year. Gong hei fat choi. The New Year's greeting most of us have learned simply means congratulations and prosperity. So I wish you congratulations on making it through the last year. And I wish you prosperity in this new year. May we all be blessed abundantly as we hold each other in prayer, as we hold each other close to our hearts, as we come together in this virtual circle of love and life and the awareness of the presence of God in each one of our lives. And let us absolutely know for one another, Gong hei fat choi, congratulations and prosperity. And Happy New Year. Jennifer, only you would go to 16 days without chopping veggies or meat. Pre chop. It's not going to last 16 days, but at least you'll be okay for the first few. Doesn't say you can't eat that stuff, just says don't chop it. Put down the sharp objects. Yeah, it's definitely a transition year. That's what they're saying. It's it's time to finish up business from last year that didn't get completed. It's and I guess the Senate's doing that, aren't they? And it's I found it interesting that they talked about if you are born in one of the ox years, your good can be doubled, but your bad could also be doubled. That's kind of what they said. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, don't you think? I just love to see how other cultures look at things. You know, New Year's we stand on corners and stare up at things coming falling down out of the sky. Um, if we stay awake long enough, I tend to not stay awake anymore. It's I'll watch New Year's in New York and go fine, good night. I don't need to stay up to midnight. The New Year will be here with or without me. Yeah, see, Jen, your lack of space right now is perfect. 16 days from Friday, you can find space. No pointy objects. No point. I don't know why that strikes me as being so funny, but it does. No pointy objects. Only take the medicine you need. Well, that's just good advice all the time, isn't it? Oh, meal prep, soft foods, things you can mash and don't need pointy objects for. Or eat out a lot, if you can. We never know, do we, from one day to the next, whether or not we're going to be able to do that. So, what did we learn? That different people do things differently. And yet there is, to me, the common thread. I loved the very first one. See, that's the one that just stopped me dead in my tracks. Don't say negative words. That could be practitioners. Are you paying attention? Couldn't that just be its own prayer? Don't say negative words. Tell your clients that. Stop your negative talking, self-talking, talking to others, talking about others. Just cut it out. It's a New Year's thing. It's a New Year's thing. No negative words. Oh, I would just love to be working with somebody on Friday and be able to say to them, okay, so here's your homework. We're going to celebrate Chinese New Year's. And you cannot, must not, will not use any negative words about yourself, about your world, about your situation for the next 16 days. I think the first few days would be spent in realizing how often we do that. And then maybe, just maybe, the habit would change. How wonderful it would be if we could erase negativity from our vocabulary. What might our lives be like if we had never learned how to think and speak negatively? What might they be like? And what might they be like if we could dissolve those habits? If we could stop thinking and speaking negatively? What if? I just think the possibilities are fabulous. Requires a new mindset. requires some self-policing, doesn't it? Oh, I'm sure it does. And I'm not talking about being Pollyanna positive all the time, but I am talking about dissolving the negative words in our vocabulary, mental and physical vocabulary. I love you guys. This is just too good. Okay. I think the first one is just it's a truth and it's a truth. I wonder if you can see. Number one, spirit will not be locked up. No kidding. I may be talking about the cat, I may not. And number two, Kak is posting a video of how to learn the Chinese New Year's song. Is it in Chinese?
Well, sure,
Oh boy.
but I mean, they teach you a lot of things
Do they?
in this 3-minute video.
Okay. So look for that.
It's very
When
exciting.
when we're done here tonight, go there.
Yes, everybody.
Good for you, Dana. That's very interesting. I hope you all have read that right after she says she couldn't go for 16 days without her pointy crafting things. Um, she said that she did a workshop many years ago where they had to work for 1 week on not complaining. Because that's all negative stuff, isn't it? Complaining? Really hard at first, she says, but a real eye opener for how much negativity we bring into our lives. Sure made a difference in her life, and she stopped complaining. She says she still does it now and then, but she's aware of it and tries to reframe. Yay. Yay, Dana. Yes. Yay. Good for you. Jennifer suggests that if we're going to have to eat out because we can't use pointy things, we should have Chinese. I like that. That makes perfect sense to me. And just make sure that your chopsticks are blunted. The wooden ones usually are blunted. We have a few. We have a lot of chopsticks. We're both kind of addicted to the purchase of pretty chopsticks.
We carry them with us.
Yes, we have some that live in the car that come with us just so that if we eat out, they're there. And most of them are quite pretty. But some of them are very pointy, so I think we would, during Chinese New Year's, we'd have to go there and make sure we weren't bringing pointy ones.
No pointy.
No pointy ones. Blunted chopsticks. Finger food is a great idea, Brenda. Talk about things you might get tired of by the end of 16 days, but geez, there'd be fewer dishes to wash. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on there. Okay. Spirit will not be locked up.
He will not.
I like the phrase.
Yeah, well, and it's true. He tipped over 14 things in there when I put it in there for a minute. So
He doesn't want to be locked up.
No.
He wants to be free.
yeah,
Spirit should be free. We don't lock him up a lot anymore. You know, once we got past he could come out of the bathroom and meet people, and then we discovered that Merlin wants to kill him. She's just old and cranky. Is her problem? She's just old and cranky, and she doesn't like a kitten. And she feels like he's ruining her life, I'm sure. Oh well. Anyway, she is now kind of living in the office and on my chair 90% of the time. And Tina, I get the thing about not sweeping up the cat hair because she's leaving it all on my chair, um, which is fine. It's easy enough to clean, and she seems to be happy that way. If I get up for more than a minute, go to the other side of the room and come back, she's in my chair and asleep. I mean, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Uh, Spirit, on the other hand, doesn't sit still anywhere. Yes, he is adorable. Jennifer, you have to find those chopsticks. I don't know why. Because Chinese New Year's is coming. It's on Friday. It actually starts on the 11th, but because of the time differences, we say the 12th here. Okay? That's what I read. If I'm wrong, don't worry about it. And I think Sunday we'll talk about. Oh, we should talk about love on Sunday. Don't you think? Valentine's Day. And that's Merlin knocking a box off the printer, which I put on the printer because if I don't, she pushes the buttons. All the buttons on my printer are on the top, so all she has to do is walk around, and she does that all the time. So, well, this has been a cat night, hasn't it? My. It's our life. Cats and puppies. Puppies are downstairs wondering why we're gone for an hour. Oh, you guys are terrific. You make me laugh. You make me happy. I've been weary, kind of, today because, well, I'm not getting as much sleep as I should be getting, am I? No. But you've perked me right up. So I thank you for that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Spirit will not be locked up. I love that. She's trying to tell me something about the cat, and I'm just telling you that, boy, the spirit within you will not be locked up. Spirit will not be locked up. I love that. There's a whole talk in that.
Spirit, come here.
There's a whole talk in that. All right. Shall we pray? I love to pray. I love to pray with you guys. It always feels really good. So let's take a moment and do that, shall we? Deep breath, gentle breath. Oh, doesn't matter, I don't think. Just take a breath. And let that breath take you within. Close your eyes if it's comfortable, otherwise just soft focus. It's good to be with you. In God, for God, with Spirit. So here's our lesson for tonight after all of that talking. Spirit will not be locked up. The spirit within you won't let you sit in one place too long. It will nudge, prod, hit you with a 2x4. Whatever is necessary to get that spirit within you moving, creating. That's its nature. That's what it longs to do. And its dream as you is to express as you in the most creative and imaginable ways. God is all there is. And so it must be all that you are. And every cell in your body knows that. But sometimes they nod off. And so we call tonight to them, to awaken them. The creative cells, the life-giving cells, the life-affirming cells, all of those. Hey guys, wake up. You are not locked up. You are free to create, to express, to be as godly as you choose to be. Wake up. Rise, shine. The question of the day is, how godlike can you be? Oh, you can be ever so godlike. You can create, you can love, you can make, you can heal, you can reveal. What is yours to do? How can spirit that refuses to be locked up express itself in you, as you, through you? What wondrous things can it do? You know. You know. And so I know for each one of us that spark of spirit, that ignition of spirit within each one of us rises up today, rises up tonight, and says, let me go. Set me free. Let me express in you, through you, at the level at which I have dreamed. Let me be all I can be in you, as you, through you. And we are motivated and inspired and empowered by that. We have a week of celebration ahead of us. Tomorrow is sweeping. Friday is not. Tomorrow is chopping. Friday is not. Friday we celebrate. We put down the pointy things. We put down anything that looks like a weapon, and we celebrate. The year of the rat is behind us. This is a year to build, to reframe, to continue that work which was started last year but left incomplete. And starting Friday, we do all that we can to remember to remove all negativity from our thinking and our vocabulary, so that especially on Sunday we can celebrate love. We can be love. We can recognize that we are God's Valentine to the world. Oh, so much to look forward to. So much to celebrate. The rising up of God within us. And our imagine just begins to flicker with recognition of the great things that lie before us. We are healthy, we are whole, we are loved and loving. We are God in action. And gratefully, we let that be so. And so it is. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do. CAC has posted the YouTube connection so that we can all learn how to sing the Chinese New Year song in Chinese, she tells me, which I guess is the only way you really rightfully sing it. So go off to your singing lesson and have a great rest of your week. Stay tuned to CAC's Facebook page for the further adventures of How the Tale Turns. And I'll see you on Sunday. Bring friends. It's Love Day. We should share it. I'll see you then.